guys, and welcome back to another edition of Unpopular Opinion with me, Krystal. Today I have a very special guest joining me today. Her name is Natalie Fikes. Not only is she my mentor, she is a life and business consultant as well as a best-selling author. So in this episode, we are talking about the viral video featuring lifestyle coach Kevin Samuels. In case you haven't seen the video, I will leave the link in the description box below. So basically in the video, Kevin tells a 35-year-old mother she'll never get a guy making six figures because she doesn't meet the qualifications. So you watched the video, right? So in the video, the woman says she makes six figures, so she would like a man that makes the same. His advice to her was men that make six figures don't want women who are in their mid-30s and baby mamas. What did you think about that?
I believe that is pretty accurate, actually, for a lot of men, but it doesn't cover all men. In order for you to capture that man, that there's going to be some really high qualifications. Like, you have to be pretty dynamic if he's going to take you on with that.
So basically, you're not saying that it's impossible for her to get a six-figure man. For a woman of her stature, what would it take? Like, do you think it's possible?
I believe all things are possible. I don't think there's anything you want that you can't have. I think that if you take what he was saying and apply it in a way that's going to be beneficial to you versus, dang, he came with it, which he did. But if you take it as, okay, well, these are the hurdles. These may be the hurdles that are stopping me. So what can I do for that smaller percentage of opportunity that I have? He was just like, nah. He was just like, nah.
Exactly.
And even if it's 99%, it's still one. But he can't speak for everybody. But he was dropping game. He was giving her game though.
I'm going to say I have to disagree because I feel like she can't get a six-figure man, even if she has a kid. Like, if she herself came from nothing to making six figures, that tells me a lot about her. I feel like she can get herself in those rooms with men who make that much, and one of them might find her attractive and might pursue her. I don't think her having a kid or the way she looks is such a big factor. Because a man of a certain stature, if he's older, he's not really looking for looks anymore. He's just looking for somebody to talk to, somebody on his level. So I don't think it's impossible for her to get a six-figure man.
So I agree with you that it's not impossible. I believe that it's possible. But there's so many things wrapped up in this small clip where the angle I choose to listen to it from as a professional, right, is that he's letting her in on something as a woman that she may not have considered. Okay? You may not have considered that men who are making this amount of money, that's not at the top of their list because they already have it. Mm-hmm. There's some lower level things that are important to them. So if you're not getting it, you may be focusing around the wrong thing. So you came from the bottom, now you're here, and you're like, okay, where they at? And you don't realize that that's not what they're looking for. So that's the angle that I choose to come from when I'm being a professional.
How did you feel?
Go ahead.
How did you feel about when he said average looking women don't get high earning men?
Again, that's a general statement. What he did in this clip was like he is speaking to all men. For all men, these are the rules. This is the law. And this goes across the board for everyone. That's the way he positioned it. Mm-hmm. And so I don't agree with that. That's okay. But again, he's coming. I feel like he was like, let me kick game to you. Like he's talking to his sister or his cousin or something. That's why the lines of demarcation when it comes to professionalism, not that is his standard for his show, but, professionalism versus let me just, give you some game real quick.
And I definitely understand the point you're coming from. He was trying to operate from the standpoint of let me kick game to you, but I'm going to be honest, if that was his goal, he failed because I would hate for him to talk to his mom or his sister like that. And I'm glad you bring that up because that gets me into my next point, his tone. You're a professional life coach. How'd you feel about his tone? Because I know after watching the video, I wasn't even the person he was talking to, but I felt bad. Like, I felt down after watching that. Just seeing that lady go into like just crawl up into a ball. I just felt so bad for her.
So in regards to his platform, right? The platform from my professional angle, it wasn't that he was being a life coach on that platform. That platform is, ooh, baby, I like it raw. For me, that was just like, I'm kicking game. It was professionalism is out the door. Let me just kick game to you. So that's not what life coaching is. And so I didn't view him as a life coach in that space.
And I get that, but he markets himself as a life coach. And these women are coming to you for advice as if you're a life coach. And I get, like you said, his platform is not really for that. But if you're marketing yourself like that, I expect you to have decorum, even if your platform is not how a regular life coach would operate.
I totally agree with you. I understand that there needs to be a consistency across the brand. And if you're going to be a jugular type person, you need to let people know, like, listen, I'm not your traditional life coach. I'll come for your mama and, all of that type of stuff. Then that needs to be clear across the board. And so I totally agree with you. My question, I've never heard of him before. I've never seen it until that point, seen him in action until that point. I would just say, has he been this way before? And if that's the case, when you call into the show, you need to know that he's not going to be and how does that make you feel type of person. And you just want to make sure when you reach out to people that that that's how they operate. Because they might have the right answer presented in a wrong way that can actually hurt somebody. And so you need to do your research because everybody's not created equal in this life coaching space.
And it's so true. And like you said, like, she was calling for help, but you really didn't. You actually hurt. When he started talking about her physical appearance, what went through your head as a life coach? How'd you feel about that?
Well, just life coaching in general, it was just way too much. Again, it was the platform for me. It wasn't like a life coach. It was like a radio show host or a segment of something where I'm just going to drop all this information on you. Coaching is about asking a lot of questions and helping the person discover their own truth in the moment. So you control the conversation by the questions that you're asking. You're not cutting them off and all that he was doing. And it was all about, he was doing a whole lot more talking than listening and asking questions. So again, I didn't view it as from a life coach state.
And then one of the biggest things, I worry about how she walked away from that conversation, like what was going through her head. If a woman like that came to you, what advice would you have given her? What was the advice she needed in that moment?
My question to her would be, what do you want? Let's just step away from the money. Let's talk about what you want in a relationship and get really clear about what's important to you. And if we can just hone in and focus on those things, then we can begin to attract someone that is that way. And then when it comes to the money, you might find that what he was saying is true, that you might, quote unquote, get an average guy. But let's connect based upon our core values and the things that are important. So I would ask her those things to make sure it was important. For me personally, I think it was just not the best question to ask, because when you're talking about relationships and you lead with money, how much you make or don't make should never be the reason why you get in a relationship or get out of one. And so for me, that whole conversation, you could throw the whole conversation away. It's something that we talk way too much about and we give too much energy to, when at the end of the day, it's about purpose and connection and actually liking the person that you're with and, being able to create and live and like together. And so it was just, I can look at it from a professional space. It had to be entertainment, which it wasn't. It was not.
Far from entertainment. Can you please say again what you said before, though? Say it the way you said it, because that was perfect. I think a lot of women need to hear that.
Yeah. money should never be the reason why you get in a relationship or get out of a relationship. When I tell you money is here one day in abundance, and then the next day it's not here, and then you done thrown the whole person away. You threw them away, gone. And then next thing you know, they had a whole $1 trillion idea. And you sitting on the other side of that. Or you got with someone who you met in the $1 trillion idea, but now they lost all of their money. And you never really got to know who that person was. I think we need to go back to the friend zone. And we really need to first get ourselves right, understand who we are, what we want, find out from somebody else who they are, what they want, and if we want the same things and we're the same type of people, then how about we go at this thing together? That's it.
I love that. I like the advice you gave, but after watching that video, mine would be when he asked her, what do you rate yourself? And she said 5 when I put on my makeup, 6. Right then and there, I was like, before you even start looking for companionship, I want you to work on you. Like, get that self-confidence like Shanae and Martin. Like, you know you look good. Like, I know I'm fine. Because it's just like, if your self-confidence level is not where it should be, you get in a relationship, I just feel like that leaves space for somebody to take advantage of you, or you just put up with anything just so you can keep a man.
I totally agree with that. And the fact that she rated herself a 5 without makeup, a 6 with it, and all that other stuff, she already does not know who she is. She should rate herself one of a kind. Because at the end of the day, there's only one her, period and point blank. And I am rated one of a kind. And you want to get with me, then here's what I come with. But because she feels a 5 and a 6 with or without and all that other stuff, then the reason why she's not attracting a 6-figure or whatever, any man that she really wants, is because of how she rates herself.
Exactly. And then
so taking your advice, she will be able to get there. So absolutely.
But then in that same token, saying that the way she rated herself, it was also the way he asked the question that kind of threw me for a loop a little. It's like, what do you rate yourself, but don't say 7? I feel like when he says that, nobody would go above 7 at that moment, because I feel like he's putting out the way he thinks at that point. Like, don't even say you're a 7. I crossed that out for you. So I also think
at the end of the day, you can't cross nothing out for me. Okay, so we as women, we have to, regardless of who's asking the question, we need to answer from an authentic space. And so if he says don't say 7 and you feel like a 7, then you say 7 is my answer. That's it. Now you got to figure out how you gonna come back after that, because you wasn't expecting me to do that, because you think you make the rules about me. You don't. And anybody who tells you to speak but only say within this parameter, yeah, it's a problem with that. You have to fight for yourself.
Exactly. First and foremost. And I think a lot of people want to learn how to do that. And you go on YouTube and you go on Instagram and you see people's pictures or videos and you think they have it all together. So you reach out to them for advice or coaching and you end up with somebody like Kevin Samuels. So for women out there who are looking for advice and just someone to confide in, can you please let them know what they should look for? Because I just think she went to the wrong person. Instagram is just a highlight reel. So I don't understand why she went to him.
Well, we have to get to know the values of the people that we choose to follow. And because of the hype right now, we're really following the people that the crowd is following and allowing the crowd to make the decision for us, and falling in love with the hype versus really identifying what is it that I truly want to get from this person, to where I would trade my time and energy for what it is that they have to say. So it always goes back to what's in it for you. Like, what was it about this man that you thought he was going to say something that was going to get you what you needed to know? What was your desired outcome at the end of that conversation? What were you hoping to get out of that? You got to be really, really clear about what you want out here in these social media streets, and ask the questions. I don't hear anybody asking questions like real deep questions about getting to know the character of the people. What can I hold you accountable for? Hey, you talk a lot about your kids and how great you are with your kids, but I don't never see you on here with your kids.
Preach.
Can we hear from your kids?
Preach.
Can we talk to your kids about how they feel about you? Because all the photos you show are great photos. Can we talk to them and ask them whatever questions we want to ask? Let's take the filters off, right? And nobody owes you that. You have to be the one to ask those questions. Me personally, real recognize real. And I can tell you that 99% of people out there have spent more time on getting their colors for their logos right than they have getting their lives right.
Wow.
Because it's business.
But you want to run to that person for advice. It don't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. And until you get yourself right, you won't be able to see what a fraud is because you're currently being one. Because you're not showing up like yourself. So you're automatically going to be attracted to people that don't mean you any good. So we've got work to do.
Like I said in the beginning of this video, you have been my mentor for almost 3 years and you've proven yourself and you have the credentials to back it up to be a mentor. And not only are you my mentor, but you're a life coach. And I would almost say a dating coach. So where can people find you?
Follow the bald head and the big smile. I'm Natalie Fikes everywhere on social media. Natalie Fikes. F like fabulous, I intentional, K kind, E extraordinary,
I love it.
And S as in sweet.
That was good. Thank you. I love what you said about that money part.
It's real. Quote it, honey.
That was really good. I wish I said it. But no, that was really good. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button below. Until next time, bye.